Okay, so earlier you have seen the constructional features of a centrifugal compressor and different terminologies related to the constructional features. Now we'll see how the velocity triangle looks like and how you can use the velocity triangle to derive the energy transfer equation. And hence, these are very important because the energy transfer comes from the change in force, that is the impulse. From the force, we can get the torque. From torque, we'll get the energy. And that's all. That's all we'll have for the modeling of a compressor. So these are very important. The velocity triangles will be using the concepts from how the compressor is working. So we know that the centrifugal compressor uses the property that there is an axial entry and a radial outlet. So we know that there is an axial entry and the radial outlet. So you must remember what are the different terminologies over here. So VR1 indicates the, let me use a pen. So VR1 over here indicates the relative velocity. U1 or refers to the blade speed. VF, this is VF. This refers to the flow velocity or axial velocity. VR refers to relative velocity. V1 refers to the absolute velocity. Beta is the angle which the relative velocity or the blades will make with the mean speed of the blade. So this is the direction in which the blades are moving. This is the velocity at the blade inlet or outlet. So this angle is the angle beta, and alpha angle is shown with respect to u again, and that is with respect to the absolute velocity. So beta are the angles between the blade speed u and relative velocity, while the alpha angle over here, the alpha angle are angles between the blade speed u and the absolute velocity. So, and the subscript 1 indicates it is the inlet and the subscript 2 will indicate the outlet. So over here we know that it is a radial inlet, axial inlet. So it is the flow is purely axially inlet. So V1 is 1. V1 is equal to Vf1. That is the flow velocity is equal to absolute velocity. And VW indicates the whirl velocity or the radial velocity of the fluid. So over here we know that ideally the whirl velocity are 0 and VW2 will see the outlet. So this is the inlet velocity triangle, we'll see the outlet, and we know V1 is equal to Vf1. These are the conditions without slip. So we'll see that what is slip also. So but you must remember this is how the inlet velocity triangle looks like. This is how the outlet velocity triangle looks like. That is, we have radial exit. We have, so this is relative velocity. This is radial exit. That means VW2 is equal to U2, and V2, that is the absolute velocity, is making an angle alpha, and beta angle at the outlet, that is the beta 2, is 90 degree. Over here we had alpha 1 is equal to 90 degree. So you must remember the outlet velocity triangle, inlet velocity triangle, and these were the ideal velocity triangles, or where we had ideal conditions, there was no energy loss. And the actual velocity triangles are also useful while solving problem, and they looks like this. So in an inlet velocity triangle, we'll have a non-zero VW1. So this change in VW1 will change the V1. So earlier we had V1 is equal to VF1 and VW1 was 0. But over here we have non-zero VW1 and that will change V1. So we'll have non-perpendicular V1. The inlet absolute velocity is not perpendicular to the blades. And over here at the outlet also we knew that VW2 was equal to U2 as seen over here. VW2 was equal to U2, but actually that is not the case. So we'll have U larger than VW2 or VW2 is smaller than U. So we'll have a non-zero VF2. VR2 and VF2 are not equal. So you must remember that U minus VW2 is non-zero in actual velocity diagram. And then let's come to Euler's equation. So we have known. So as of now, from here on, we'll consider only radial blades for this course. So coming to the Euler's equation, that is the energy transfer equation. So we know that energy per mass flow rate is given by VW2 U2 minus VW1 U1. And for ideal condition, we know that VW1 is 0. We know VW1 is 0. So that the second term goes off. So the actual energy transfer, total energy transfer is m dot VW2 U2. And we also know that VW2 U2 are equal. So the total energy transfer is m dot U square, because these are equals. But this is an ideal condition.